Good morning, everyone. It's your girls from Obscure Orations, me, Tay, and Miss Dana,
Me.
or Joe Dana.
Yeah, Jodina.
Everyone gonna know you, Joe Dana. They're gonna walk by you in the streets. Hi, Joe
Because I'm so famous in my small town.
Dana. You probably are at this rate. All of your small
Maybe.
towns, like, we know who she is. So, welcome to today's episode of Obscure Orations. We're going to be talking about time traveling.
Ooh.
And, I know there's a lot of I want to say like cheesy, spoofy movies out there about time traveling. It's probably one of the most common tropes you can find in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And I'm now just thinking like Hot Tub Time Machine comes immediately to mind for some reason. Obviously, of course, like Back to the Future. You
Back
got
to
to
the
have the
Future. Yeah.
classics. Oh,
But Back to the Future wasn't your shtick. It wasn't a shtick kind of time travel movie. You know what I mean?
that's true. Like it was. I personally absolutely love Back to the Future. The all three of them. They're so good, and it made me want a DeLorean.
Just because the doors opened up.
I was gonna say I'm not gonna lie, that was the coolest thing. Like, watching them open up this way instead of just being like normal and boring. And oh, here you go. Screw that. We got a cool looking car.
I remember, like, after seeing that movie, um, at the time, going to the States grocery shopping was the norm. You didn't need a passport to get over there.
I remember those
And
days.
we went grocery shopping in the States, and I saw a fucking DeLorean in downtown Detroit when we came out of the tunnel, right by the
Ooh.
the Ren Center. I was like, he's here. Yeah, it wasn't, but yeah.
In our
And
minds, that's all that matters. Great
and then
Scott!
again, because it was days before the internet, where we actually had to go to the library to look shit up. So when I went to school on the Monday, I think I skipped out of math. I failed it anyway, so I went and looked up the DeLorean and found out all about John DeLorean, the guy that built cars. It was interesting.
Oh, you know, I didn't
Yeah.
even know that that was the name of the guy who made it.
Oh, yeah.
So see, I was just educated.
he,
So
he
neat,
literally
cool.
named his car after himself, kind of like Ford.
Yeah, that seems about right with all of them. It's like, what are you going to name it? I'm going to name it after me so everyone knows I'm here. And then as we go several generations away, we're like, this is such a good Ford. He's like, yeah, it is. I made it. Oh, I don't know why it's named that. And they're just rolling in their grave going, but I named it after myself.
And Henry's going, oh.
At least the good thing, like, I think I was older before I knew that Henry Ford was the creator of Ford, the vehicles, I should say, just because they also have I'm trying to remember, they have the Henry Ford exhibit over there. And then I want to say there's like a
Yeah,
Henry
Greenfield
Ford,
Village.
and then isn't there like a Henry Ford? I swear there's a Henry Ford hospital, I think. Like, I think it was one that he funded.
There's a few of them.
Okay, that's what I thought. So when I was younger, I never, I didn't correlate them. And then my mom's like, there's a whole bunch of stuff over there that were all his besides the vehicles. I'm like, what? Like, ah, like, yeah, that's handy to know.
Phil works at Henry Ford downtown.
Okay, see, okay, I'm glad I'm not insane. Well, at
Yeah.
least not when it comes to this. I'm not insane. For a lot of
Yeah.
other things, probably.
Did you never go to Greenfield Village on a school? I want to say road trip, but they're not called road trips in school. What are
Field
they?
trip?
Field trip. Thank you.
Road
Road
trip
trip.
day, everyone! Get your permission slips out.
Hey, listen. When I was in grade 6, we went to St. Julian's Winery in Michigan. In grade 6. I bought sparkling wine, or yeah, it was sparkling grape juice. Pardon me. And see, that was again back in the day when the border didn't care what you were bringing over.
What do you got here? A busload of kids, 6th grade, and they're going to a winery? Let them on through. What could
Come
possibly
on
go
through,
wrong
kids.
with this? Meanwhile, their drinking age has been 21 for years. And you're like,
Got a bunch of fucking 12-year-olds hitting up a winery.
oh, time to go to the winery. Yeah, no, by the time that I got into school, because my mom's made that comment too, where she's like, oh, I can remember I went stateside for several field trips. And she was like, oh, we got to go to different places over there. By the time that mine came around, we barely got to leave the greater Essex County. They're like, you stay within your home borders, okay?
Yep.
It wasn't wise in the 70s and 80s what we did. Now we've learned, and we're gonna not do that.
Exactly. Okay, so back to time traveling.
Technically speaking, that was time traveling. We're just time traveling in our own timeline.
Yes, we were going back in time.
As you were.
So I will ask you and all of our listeners, watchers, however you engage with us. If you could time travel, would you go back or forward? And why?
So it's a hard choice, but for me, because I'm more of a history person, I would like to go back in time instead of going into the future, just because like I think it's part of like my anxiety and stress. It's just like, no, if we go back in time, we know what's going to happen and we can play around with that. That'll be just fine. So for me, I'd rather go back in time, and like there's several time periods that I would like to go to. Basically all of the points in history on my bookshelf that I'm looking at right now. I'm like, yeah, I'd go then, 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 and then, and then, and then, and then, no more, and then, and then. So for me, it'd be going back in time to, if I had to choose just one, I'd go ancient Egypt as a whole, usually. And then it's a toss up between going back to the time of Hatshepsut, one of the first female pharaohs at the time, or during the time of uh, Amos the first, so about 1550 BCE. Just to go back, and those would be my two first go-tos. Like, let's be honest, I would be hitting that rewind button 52 different times.
Oh, absolutely. And I would think that if you had the ability to time travel, so you're going to go back in time, but you can come back to your own time. Because if you can go back, you can obviously go forward, right? I would time jump. You ever watch that movie Jumpers?
I was just going to say that, yes.
Fucking love that movie. That would so be me.
Ding, ding, where are you going? Ding, everywhere.
Now imagine being a jumper, but with the ability to time travel.
That would be fucking amazing. That would be my dream. That would be just pop back and forth and just I would never be in my current timeline.
You hear these people, I want to win the lottery. We're all like, I want to time travel. Fuck the lottery.
I was going to say, fuck that lottery. I don't want your money. I want time travel. Give me that option. So, and for me, like, the reason why is because a lot of the times, so for me personally, it's like multi-layered. One, I can't remember if we've talked about this before, but I think we'll probably do a full episode on it one day. Past lives. For me, I fully believe in them. I believe in reincarnation, that you have glimpses of your past life, all that kind of stuff. So there's certain times in history that call to me excessively strongly versus others. Like there's parts of history where I'm like, meh, that sounds fine. That's kind of cool. And then there's other ones where I'm like, I want to go, and it's that feeling of I want to go home. So that
Yeah.
would be why some of the time periods that I choose, I'd be like, yeah, I'd want to go to these times first because I feel like I'd be going home. And then, like, so this is going to be not Egyptian based. But one of my other major timelines that I would love to go through and be a part of, or not even be a part of because I don't want to die, but witness, is the Knights Templar. I want to see the founding of it because so there's a really good book trilogy. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's by Jack White, and there's 3 different books to it. I don't have the first 2 anymore because I read them and got rid of them years ago. But the third one is called Order and Chaos. So the first one is the establishment of the Knights Templar. The second one was can't remember if it was they were losing Jerusalem. It's one of the many crusades. And then the third one is how Friday the 13th happened, where it killed off almost the entire order in one quick done.
Damn.
But they managed to make it through. It was because the what was it, the French king at the time? I think it was not happy with them because they had more money than he did. So
Again, back to the money. It's what money really is the root to all the evils.
when you look at stuff like that, most of it is because he was mad at them for the amount of sway and kind of power they had and the untouchableness of them. You know, like I'm certain, I'm
Okay, Sean
certain.
Connery.
Thank you. Yes, I'm certain about this. Um, I'm sure there's some that were probably abusing their power. No doubt about it. Just because that always happens. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
We see it
Uh,
now.
oh God,
We
yeah.
see it now in our governments.
hmm So I'm sure that it happened even within the Knights Templar. But I'm sure it's one of the things like many things where there was a few bad apples and the rest of the bunch were probably good and trying to do the best that they could kind of thing. And it did not go well. And then it was, let's stake them and kill them. Like, oh, okay.
All right then.
So what about you? Would you want to travel to the future or to the past? If
No,
so, which one and why?
I don't want to go to the future.
I like that neither of us wants to go to the future.
No, okay, so as a parent, I don't want to go to the future because I don't want to see my kids have to live without me.
Ooh, I never thought of that. Oh, yeah.
Right? Back in time, ooh, so many possibilities, so many things
Right?
I would want to do. Definitely want to go back to when Michelangelo painted the Sistine Chapel, because that would be fucking amazing to watch. And yeah, I would spend 13 years on my back watching them do it.
This is amazing work, Michelangelo. Great job. Great job. Bene, bene.
Uh, Back to the times of Van Gogh. Van Gogh.
Yours is going to be all art related.
Pretty much, yeah. No.
Oh.
I would really do my best to persuade him to not cut off his ear,
To not go crazy.
to not send it to whores, and to not destroy a lot of his work.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah,
That'd be
because
really good.
there was so much of it. There was so much going by his brother Theo.
Mm-hmm.
Theo had said that there was so much work that he himself didn't like, so he destroyed it. And it's just
Yeah.
and then I'd come back to the future with a Van Gogh painting or a Van Gogh painting, because
It's a carry-on. Like luggage. You know, in that
I mean, I have the print of Starry Night hanging in my
you could have
living
the
room,
original
but damn, I
copy
could have the original exactly.
and have him signed it and everything. Like hell yeah! Like I hadn't even thought about it, but you make a really good point about the saving the artwork. Because I'm trying to remember, there was a documentary I watched years ago, and I watch a lot, so they all blur together. But there was one about the people who were art, trying to be art saviors. I think it was one of Hitler's generals or something like that, had been squirreling away art pieces for
Yep.
the entirety of it instead of burning them and destroying them, and tried to get out as much as he could to try and save the culture and history of it. And even some of that didn't make it out just because they didn't have enough time. I think some has gotten water damage or caught fire, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could go back in time to places like that and be able to save the original works and just run it the hell out of there. You're like, I will stop
Yeah,
time. Oh,
got the
I will
Mona
save
Lisa
all of it.
strapped to my back as I'm running.
Time to leave. And that's another one. Now that you mentioned artists, I would go back in time and meet Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
just the inventor, the creator. Oh yeah.
Now, the non-artistic me,
Like that, the non-artistic.
and I'm probably going to cause a kerfluffle when I say this. I want to go back to the time of Nostradamus.
Oh yes. Yes.
Only because, having lived in his future, I want to tell him he's right.
Right?
You're like, damn it, sir, you hit the nail on the head. Because so many people don't believe his prophecies.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, again, have an open mind. Your third eye's awake. If you believe and you read his books, yeah, you're like, fuck yeah, that happened. Fuck,
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna happen. And yeah. So yeah, I would definitely want to go back to Nostradamus time. And then my last foray into the past.
I like how this.
I would like to go back to the time of Braveheart in Scotland.
Oh, that'd be a good one too. There's so much going on. Oh.
I mean, men in kilts, A. My Scottish heritage, B. Probably run into some ancestors, C. Because my family clan is pretty old.
Mm-hmm.
When
Which
I
one's yours
did
again?
my grandfather's last name was Wood, but they are under, starts with an M. It's
That
a
doesn't.
very, yeah.
That does not narrow it down.
You know what? Fuck it, man.
All hail the interwebs for being able to answer our questions.
Hail Google.
What clan does Wood belong to?
We are the clan Wood is a lowland Scottish clan from North Largo Bay in Angus in Scotland. Our crest is the ship under sail.
Oh.
We are under the same one as the royal family.
The Stuarts?
Yep, royal Stuarts.
Oh, holy shit. Damn, girl. Royalty. I'm the 5 millionth removed and in the line of succession.
Yeah, I'd have to have the plague wipe out the earth, and I'd be like, "Throne's mine, bitches."
Yeah, I was just saying, basically be like in the Game of Thrones, just roll on in, ride on a dragon, breathe fire on everything, then be like, it's mine.
Oh
And
my
then you
god!
probably
That's
die
right.
walking up to it.
We could go back to the time of dragons
Ooh.
and take V with us. We can all be Targaryens.
Start putting in the eye contacts, dyeing the hair. We are them.
Well, I don't have to
Three-headed
dye.
dragon.
I just have to stop dyeing it to get that whiteness come through.
I'm still a little bit away from that. I only have a few gray hairs right now, so I can only be like, I'm slightly Tigerian. Slightly.
So, yes, friends. Well, you can't really see on the camera, but if I was to not dye my hair, which I didn't do during COVID, I am pristine Snow White.
Yes, you are. You're not like those other people where it's like, oh yeah, you know what? You just have like some gray coming through. Yours went solid.
Just like,
which is what it's what my mom has wanted for years. Where she was like, you know what? I don't like the individual strands going. She's like, I just want it to all go at once. Just poof, be gone, and be
Yep.
done. And instead, the hair's like, no.
And I was 49 when that happened.
And
But but you know what? I have to be thankful that I at least hit my 40s with still
That's
some
true.
pigment in my hair, because my brother was totally gray at 21. So
fantastic.
he was buying box dye in the 80s.
Oh, and that was some different dye back then, kids. Let's
That
just
was
put
the
it that
ammonia
way.
based.
Woo!
The stuff that burnt your nose hairs when you had it on your
Open
head.
the window. I'm dyeing my hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. All right. So another timeline that I know might be weird. I'm not even sure anymore. Just because for me, I've loved it, and I loved it before um, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but pirates.
Okay.
I like that you took a minute and you're like going to take a drink. You're like, oh, pirates.
As soon as you said Assassin's Creed, I'm like, yes.
It's probably honestly why I love the video game franchise so much, is because you literally get to go back in time. Like, until there's actually a time machine, this is the only way we can legitimately go back to all these different times and get to experience things. And being a pirate has never made me so happy in my entire lifetime for this one. Like, oh my god, it's oh, just so happy.
So Brendan and I played Assassin's Creed a lot when we first got our Xbox 360.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, as we've upgraded, we've played more. Okay, come back in time with me, kids. We're gonna go back to 1979 when 8-year-old me went to Disney World for the first time.
Oh, the original Pirates of the Caribbean
And
show.
we went through the Pirates of the Caribbean boat ride thing where they're at each other and cannonballs and whatnot. When Disney hired Johnny Depp to play Captain Jack, the first time I saw that movie, and thank you, Mike, wherever you are, for pirating that movie for me. Yeah, he also got me LimeWire Pro for free.
Oh, that's the classy shit right there.
He was a good man. Yeah, when I having been at the Disney World fiasco that is Pirates of the Caribbean, and then seeing the live action movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think between Pirates and Jurassic Park, yeah, I'm like, oh, if I could go one place, do I go to the dinosaurs? Do I go to the pirates? Because I love the dinosaurs too, and I would want to be a caveman. Not even kidding you.
like, after watching Jurassic Park, I'm like, I love the fact of knowing that they know that they're wrong with what the dinosaurs look like in the first trilogy, I think it is, because they never really made any changes. It's not until the newer ones that they started adding feathers to them and that kind of stuff. But they owned it. They're like, yeah, the Velociraptor didn't actually look like that. It was the size of a chicken, and it was feathered. Well, we're going to keep it looking like what we have because we've already made a franchise of it.
That and it's scarier.
Oh,
Chickens aren't scary.
All I can think is Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory being chased by chickens and his unadulterated fear of them now. Nothing scary about a chicken. The descendants of dinosaurs, and they know it.
And again, my love for the dinosaurs, caveman era came when. This will tell you what type of reader I am, friends. I think I was in grade 7, and I read Clan of the Cave Bear.
I think I've heard of that one before.
This thick. Daryl Hannah was in the movie.
Oh, maybe that's why I've heard of it.
I never watched the movie, but I read the book, and yeah. So I remember free time in grade 7.
Yep.
I had the fucking chicken pox and I couldn't go to Camp Henry. So my free time in grade 7 was literally a week of sitting in a classroom with like a teacher's aide type person.
Mm-hmm.
Doing whatever they were doing, and I read Clan of the Cave Bear. And they saw me pull it out the one day, and she was like, "Are you reading that book?" I'm like, "Uh-huh." She's like, "That's in a very adult book."
Uh-huh.
Okay. I read Stephen King too.
And you're like, what's your point?
So yeah, reading that book. If you haven't watched the movie, go ahead and watch it. I don't know what it's like, but the kind of reader you are, it'd take you 5 years to get through the book.
Yeah.
There's got to be 1,300 pages in it. Not even kidding.
Yeah, I was going to say that's 5 million years later. I'd be like, I finished it.
I would have to go into the future. Taylor, did you finish that fucking book yet?
I probably still sit there regretting, I still haven't finished it. I can't bring myself to
Taylor's like 95 in the nursing home. No.
The nurse is coming in. Who are you talking to? Joe Dana. Honey, she's been dead for years. She's right here. Don't you see her?
My time traveling friend.
Yeah. Watch that moment of them going,
we have a new room for you and this beautiful jacket that hugs you back.
It's fine. She can go with you. It's okay. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
You'll have lots of friends there.
I think it's one of those things, like, I think I would go into the future if, very specifically, like, if I knew that, thought process just came suddenly the thoughts went, boing.
The Sunday morning, Sunday. Oh,
that was perfect.
Channeled my inner Mike Tyson there.
Oh my God.
The Sunday morning thought process is a rough one to get started.
And then once it starts,
fine example.
So my first thought was initially like, if I knew that in the future, like, either Mass Effect or Star Wars became real, like we had space travel, we went out there, like we met other beings, then I'd be like,
you just want the fucking lightsaber, admit it.
As any true BioWare fan will tell you, Number one, of course, I want to fucking like slice. I would be a menace with having one. Like I should not. But then the second thing, as you will see in any BioWare memes, posted anywhere on the interwebs, you will see them say, "But can we bang it? We bang? Can I sleep with it? We bang?" And it's literally just like any other game. They're like, "Oh yeah, here's this super intelligent species. You come across them. There's this awesome storyline. It's epic." You're like, "Cool, cool, cool." BioWare does the exact same thing, and then you sit and go, "Can we bang it? Ah, ah, ah? Is it romanceable?" And that is 100% what I want in the future. Like, there's, yeah.
Tell me if you've noticed. We've both have answered the question and the why, and neither one of the two of us picked
The future.
Picked the time frame in which we stopped the assassination of President Kennedy. We kill Hitler.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like all the grand historical things that you would want to go. Most people, I'm gonna go stop Hitler. You know, we're all like dragons.
Dragons, dinosaurs, ancients,
lead paint.
Yeah. How'd they get lead paint in their system? Like, that's not even used anymore in North America. Like, and asbestos too. Like, so okay, so you're currently, I think, I don't know if you've given up watching it or still watching it. You're watching the Outlander.
Yeah, we're on episode 3.
Season 1 or further?
Season 1. We just started on Friday.
I wasn't sure, just depending on how like dedicated you were. So, can't remember if it happens. Yeah, I think it's during season 1 and 2 where they're talking about, like, you'll get to see the Battle of Culloden and Bonnie Prince Charlie and all that kind of stuff, and they try to stop it. So no matter what they do, they try to do things to bring it about, that they go to like a different area and have the excuse me, and have the battle somewhere else where maybe the Scots could ambush the English, all that kind of stuff. And what I found interesting about it, and even, you know, to kind of touch on it in the Umbrella Academy, because have you watched that?
Yep.
So then you remember, is it season 2 or 3 where they go back in time? I think it might have been 3, where they go back in time to the assassination of Kennedy, and the one brother's like obsessed. I think it's Diego is obsessed with it, and it's like, we can stop it. We need to do this, and no matter what they do, it still happens. So I find it fascinating that in all of the time traveling things, like tropes that we have in movies, TV shows, all that kind of stuff, even books, I'm sure, it's always, no matter what, this is what happens. This is the final outcome.
Yeah.
We still have the future that we have currently right now anyways, no matter how hard they try. And I mean, they, like, when you get to the seasons that have the whole battle coming for Culloden and the rebellion, like, they tried hardcore, really hard tried. And no, just no, changed absolutely diddly squat. So it's one of those things, like, I'm trying to remember if I saw it in a movie once or read it in a book somewhere, where they kind of have that, I think it's called like a self-correcting time loop or something like that, where it's, if you went back in time and you tried to interfere with it, then it stands to reason that that was always what you're going to do, and this always was going to be the future anyways, despite all the things that happened. Then it's kind of like, well, shit, fuck. Like, well, that ruins half of my damn fun. Like, what if I want to go back and be like, Van Gogh, stop
Was,
cutting off your ear?
wasn't that like the movie Loopers?
Was that was the one with Bruce Willis and his younger self comes to kill him, right?
Ah, it's been so long. But going back to Outlander, so like I said, we're on the 3rd episode. So we watched the first episode Friday night. No words were spoken between my husband and I. So last night, after we came in from sitting out on the deck, and that it was about 9:30, says, "Do you want to watch episode of Outlander?" I'm like, yeah, okay. We were halfway through the episode, and he's like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "Are you not enjoying it?" He goes, "No." He goes, "I gotta turn the subtitles on." He goes, "I don't know what they're saying." So some of the Scottish accents got to him. I cannot wait for October when we actually get there. I'm gonna need an interpreter for my husband. But then when they started talking Gaelic,
Yes.
they don't translate the Gaelic in the subtitles. He's like, "Fuck." I'm just sitting on the end of the couch, like, trying not to bust a gut laughing. He was so disappointed.
I was going to say that was the same for my mom because she can't do like anyone with any accent, and I mean any accent. It doesn't matter what it is. She cannot, like, for example, we just watched the movie Bob Marley Love, Big Love.
Oh yeah.
That one. It just came out. It's a new one. Um, and it's the Jamaican accent. I
From the
swear
lady that lived in the Dominican.
That's what I said. I looked at her and went, "How do you not have like better understanding of these?" I was like, for me, I didn't catch as much because like for me through grade school and high school and college and now where I work, I have a lot of Middle Eastern, like I grew up with a lot of Middle Eastern accents, and trying to think of like all the different accents. Like we had European, Middle Eastern, and like more specific and more locale after that. But for me, I got used to all those kind of different accents. And even when we worked at the at Curves, we had to deal with Irish accents, Scottish accents, um, Australian accents. I think we even had um, South African at one point. And my mom absolutely loves the accents, but she can't understand a fucking thing. The words come out and she's just like, uh-huh, uh-huh. And I'm standing next to her going, they just said that their dog died. Stop smiling. And she's like, oh no. Oh, so sad, so sad.
Okay.
Or it's like, okay. Um, so when it comes to watching TV programs like Outlander, because they do have the thick Scottish brogue, uh, and if you've ever watched Peaky Blinders,
No, I
that's another.
haven't, and somebody told me I should.
Oh my God, do it. Fuck Outlander. Watch Peaky Blinders. It
Okay.
is. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. You will need subtitles for that for poor Norm. Because
Like, I'm not even shitting you guys. England, Ireland, and Scotland are going to be the bane of my husband's existence for 2 weeks. I can't wait.
I love that you're just like, I can't wait for this. I'm like,
I
that
grew
poor
up with
man.
a Scottish accent. So I mean, not me personally, but my grandfather, right?
Oh.
So when they talk, I know what they're saying. He's so lost.
He's gonna be saying, do you have food? Please just feed me. Oh my God. So So I know for my mom, she would never go to different places. Like if she could go back in time, it would be places where they would hopefully not have accents in her world. Because there's times where she even has problems, and I know you watch it. Bridgerton. There's times where she watches it and she looks at me and goes, "What did they say?" And I'll repeat back, and she's like, "Ah, okay, okay." And like 2 episodes later, wait, what?
Norm's rewound. We watched we watched the first season of Bridgerton together.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many times you'd be like, "What they say?" And I'd be laughing too hard to answer him, and he would.
Oh, poor Norman. He's screwed. He's going to be dealing with this in real time. There's no subtitle options. As his wife laughs so hysterically that she's crying.
Like, I'm gonna be on the floor in the fucking pubs, and he's gonna be all like trying to order a beer.
Oh my god.
I'm a
You will have
horrible person.
I'm
gonna live stream. I'm gonna live stream Scotland.
What happened? We finally got to 1,000 followers. What's the live stream of? Go ahead. Order, buddy, order.
Hey, go ahead and you order that haggis.
Or tagish in Gaelic. So maybe tell him if he hears them suddenly saying tagish, know that it's haggis.
Don't eat
it. Yeah. He's gonna be sitting there going, "Oh yeah, sure, that sounds delicious." Well, we're no.
You got everybody on the Facebook Live. Don't eat it.
Put it down, Norm. Put it down. This tastes weird. It's such a weird texture. You know what? I'd like to go back in time and find the first person who made that. That's what I want to do. I want to find that person and be like, why?
Whatever possessed you to take internal organs and wrap them in stomach lining and boil the fuck out of it and eat it? What? Oh. And you know what? When my papa was alive, that was his Friday dinner. Fucking week. Do you know how hard it is to find haggis in Windsor?
I would assume extremely difficult.
That's when I discovered the Scottish Club.
Oh, right.
On Holland Tecumseh. Mm-hmm. Lovely people.
You're like, please, we just need haggis for my grandpa.
I'm like literally 13 years old going in there. Do you sell haggis?
They're like, what you doing in here? You're a little young for having that.
Aye, come on in, lass. Is what I got.
You're sitting there, I don't think I want to eat it, though.
Yeah, no, I don't want to taste it. I'm taking it home from my papa.
Yeah, not for me. Not for me at all.
Yeah.
So, is there anyone in history? Oh, I just thought of several different angles.
We are on a time limit.
It's okay, we're good. We're good still.
I know. We're good for now.
5 hours later, what about?
The possibilities are endless.
That's basically about it.
As Bradley Cooper would say, limitless.
Yes. So, if you had to pick, and you can't pick Stephen King.
Okay, go ahead.
Who would you want to go back in time and meet?
H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh, you actually had that far quicker than I thought you would.
For stories and characters created in the 1800s, I seriously need to know that man's thought processes.
Yeah.
Have you ever read any of his short stories?
I want to say no, but I feel like I probably had to in probably in English class. I was like,
No, you wouldn't have read them in English class. No. Edgar Allan Poe, yes. H.P. Lovecraft, no.
yeah, Edgar Allan Poe, yes.
um, yeah, just the characters he created and the fact that he was talking about aliens back then.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
There's a Nick Cage movie on the Netflix. That's an H.P. Lovecraft story.
I want to say I've seen it advertised.
Something about color.
I think so.
Yeah, a meteor or something lands in his backyard, and he's all like, "What the fuck?"
Yes.
And it's aliens.
Yeah, I would say it makes you really question at that point in time, and you're like, were you probed at some point in time? Did you let one in?
Howard? Howard, were you probed?
There's so many questions, and if so, what time and date did you do it? And just click the switch to that time and date, go back to it, and just watch. Oh, he did get probed.
and then there's his world-eating Cthulhu.
Oh, Cthulhu, right? I forgot that was him. I mean, I hear about it all the time, but I never really think about him being from H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah. So yeah, I would want to go back and have a chat with old Howard Phillip there.
And when you're like, I have questions. I have so many questions.
It's the 1800s, and you're talking about aliens. It was 2023 before the U.S. government said, "Yeah, they're out there." What up?
And I love the fact that the U.S. government finally said, yes, there are aliens. We can confirm it. We do have whatever proof of them, kind of thing.
But they don't call them unidentified flying objects anymore. They're not UFOs. They're UAEs or something like that.
Yes.
Some stupid.
Yes, I would say they changed the letter. Like it's mostly the same, but then just changed slightly for one thing.
Yeah, I want to say UFE or UEF
something like
or something like that.
Yeah. I don't understand the point of it, but it'll always be UFOs to us older people. But
and the people in Roswell.
Yes. Well, like I said, it made me laugh just because for years people have wanted, for decades, centuries, people have just wanted the confirmation of this. The government finally gives it, and it was barely across any social media. People were like, yeah, what of it? We already knew. Like, do you not remember that you were all ready to storm Area 51 and the government's finally like, yo, here it is? And they're like, old news.
If you are saying that they're real, why aren't you letting us in? That's what I want to know.
And again, then it goes back to like, so again, in my thought process, it's scary no matter which way people look at it. If there's no aliens out there in the billions of planets and stars and numerous galaxies, I think it's just human hubris to assume that we're the only living things in all of it. But it's scary if you think that we're the only ones and we're destroying our only habitable planet. And then conversely, if they are out there, I'd feel kind of bad for them. If you think about all of the movie franchises that we have and a lot of video games that we have, it's like Quake and Duke Nukem and the Alien franchise and all that kind of stuff, where a lot of the times we're quite violent towards them.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to remember, there's a movie I watched at one point in time where the aliens were actually peaceful. They're like, we want to be friends, and got shot. And it's like, see, this is why they won't come here. They're like, we saw your movies. It's not okay.
Okay,
We're just going to leave you there.
just because I'm a slight perfectionist. So a UFO,
Oh,
now called a UAP, which stands for Unidentified Anomalous Phenomenon. It is a perceived airborne, submerged, or transmedium phenomenon that cannot be immediately identified or explained. UFO. I don't know why they had to change the letters.
that is so stupid. Here, let's make it more difficult. Let's just leave it as UFO, unidentified flying object.
They didn't want to use the word flying, so they changed it to airborne, which I'm not Webster, nor did I write his dictionary, but I'm pretty sure they're the same fucking thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is why we can't have nice things. This is exactly why. Like, Jesus Christ. Inner peace. Okay, so is there anything, like, obviously I told you, like, I'd go to the future if I knew that the Mass Effect franchise were real or becomes real, because that's probably, I don't know if you've ever played Mass Effect. If you haven't, you should.
I
Really
probably
fucking,
have. Like, honestly, I've played so many video games, sometimes I have forgotten names of them.
yeah. I was gonna say Mass Effect is one of those. They came
And I
out
have a
and
life.
lies, cross stitching, and video games and reading. That's your life. Sometimes Norm feeds you.
So sometimes Norm yells at me to tell me to eat. For God's sakes, woman, eat! Okay.
Hi.
It's only been
So
10 hours. Calm the fuck down.
I got at least two more before I'm hungry. So in Mass Effect, the whole concept is that in, I think it was, the game came out in 2007-ish. So they did a legendary edition where they've upgraded all the graphics and all that stuff. And I think, can't remember for sure or not, but I think it's on Game Pass, so you might be able to play the games on there if you haven't. Um,
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm waiting for winter.
we're going to make you up a list and be like, these are the games that during winter hibernation you're going to be doing.
Well, not only because summer, my pool's open. I spend a
Yep.
lot of time in my backyard. And then when I do come in, I'm cross stitching because now I'm
Mm,
on a project that has a
yeah,
has a
I was
time
going to
limit.
say that one's going to be important.
Yeah,
So
it's a Christmas gift, so
when
so
you
yeah, I'm waiting
do,
for winter.
yeah, I would say, so when you do get to doing games again, um, Mass Effect is one of those ones where I loved it so much because it's a plausible future for human society, where in, I think it's like 150 years from now or something like that, everything's jumped forward in technological advances because we made it to Mars, and when we were there, we ended up finding a giant data cache left behind by civilizations before. And when we found it, we were able to use all their technology, which just jumped us like 200 years into the future, technologically speaking. And then we find these things called, oh crap, what are they called?
Yeah,
I
those
can't
things.
I can't remember. Basically, like, they're speed up gates. I'm going to call them, and that's not at all what they're called. But they have faster than light travel, and then they have these things that you like go up alongside of, and they grab you and slingshot you across the galaxy from one star system to the next. And that's how we end up finding all these other alien species. Of course, it does not go well when we first meet them, because we instantly go to war at first contact. Then the rest of them come in, they're like, play nice. Stop it. Everyone play nice. Um, but it, to me, it's more of a, like, obviously, yes, I get it, sci-fi fantasy, but it's probably one of the more plausible kind of futuristic things that I've seen for humans and how the world would progress. So my question to you is, I don't know if it's a two-part ish. What do you think the future is going to hold? And what would you hope for in the future? So one is basically let's be honest, we all know that we have dark thoughts and we're like, what's the future hold? Death. The world just burning as a giant trash pile versus what I'd like to see in the future.
I'm not normally a negative person, and you know that.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, if people, governments, countries, continents don't get their shit together and acknowledge global warming, the overpopulation, famine, homelessness, trash, the earth is fucked, basically. And I'm not going to be around to see it.
Yeah.
I've got a good 30 years left in me, maybe 35.
35 years left of podcast. Oh yeah.
Maybe 40. We do have longevity in my family.
It's the Scottish blood.
It's a Scottish blood. I would say probably by 2300. We're in what, 2024, right?
Yep.
I'm going to change my answer. I'm going to say by 2200.
Ooh.
Which is less than 2 years away. Or 2 years. 200 years. Here I am time traveling.
Sunday have happened again. Sunday thoughts have stricken.
Sunday thoughts. Yeah, I honestly think that by the year 2200, shit is going to be so bad that the earth is almost going to be inhabitable. And I think that's why governments, most commonly the US, are so keen on space exploration right now, and like the Mars rover. When I first heard about the Mars rover, I was like, well, they're onto something. They're literally, and again, I go back to the Independence Day movie. Do you remember why those aliens came to Earth? Because they were going to suck all the resources off of it so that they could continue living.
Yes.
So it honestly, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't fall into that wormhole. But I honestly believe that the government knows that we're fucked. We're fucked. Like my grandchildren are fucked.
Yep. I mean, they'd have to. All governments would have to, just because they get to see their reports first.
And I think that's why initially the Mars rover wasn't sent there to look for life on other planets. It was there to literally see if there was some way that humans could inhabit that Earth or that planet in the future.
It.
Yeah. Whether it be like domed like in Total Recall.
Yeah, I would say either like Total Recall or in Futurama.
The Martian. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you remember the movie The Martian with what's his name?
Matt Damon.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, Matt Damon. Where he was growing potatoes in the dome in that, because he was stuck on Mars for so many years.
Yep.
I mean, it makes sense. Have you watched Interstellar with my soon-to-be ex-husband Matthew McConaughey? He just doesn't know we're gonna get married yet.
You're like, I'll marry you, and then I'll leave you for Pedro.
Yeah, those two are very unsuspecting of my plans.
They're just gonna wake up, and you're gonna be laying there. Hey, how you doing, sweetie?
Yeah, I'm not losing weight for myself.
You're like, I've got to be able to chase them down. Number one. And I don't think I saw that one. There were for a little while there was a run on fucking space movies.
So I never watched it. Space movies are not my forte. Sam and Phil had come over, and Phil had asked me, he's like, "Have you watched Interstellar?" The fuck is that, Phil? Like, speak fucking English when you talk to me, boy. And he goes, it's a good movie. It's Matthew McConaughey's in it. He goes, you should really watch it. And I'm like, fuck off, Phil. After they left, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch the fucking movie. So off onto one of our streaming services we went, and I think it was on I know it's on Netflix, and I think it's on Prime too.
I was just gonna say those would be the two that I would think.
And it's a long one. That's
what I remember hearing.
But you know what? You don't even realize the length of time that passes. And it's literally, the whole concept is the earth has fallen to shit. Mm-hmm. They get these massive sandstorms, I'm talking like fucking Oklahoma, massive sandstorms that destroy their crops, and they have to go indoors and go into hiding for like weeks before they can go back outside because the air isn't breathable.
Jesus.
Matthew McConaughey is an astronaut, and off he goes onto this interstellar journey. And it is so good because in his travels, spoiler alert.
Yeah, we'll put a hashtag of spoilers on this one, I guess.
There's just, so you don't know if he's actually going there or if he's just in some kind of space coma where he's imagining.
Oh.
But it takes you through different variations of the Earth. One of them is an all-water planet. Now, I'm not talking Kevin Costner's Water World. That was dumb. And it's just like, honestly, it's a very eye-opening movie. If you're kind of like me and you are thinking long term that as a planet, not as a society, but as a planet, we're fucked if we don't smarten up. Mm-hmm. And it's a really, really good movie. And if you got 3 hours to spare, watch it.
You have like 3 hours.
Get some popcorn.
Get some popcorn, curl up on the couch, get comfy, nest.
Yeah, exactly.
So we basically pretty much had the same thought about what the future actually does hold for the planet if things continue as they are. People don't, like, if the governments don't shape up and start actually making, and I'm not talking about like changes where they're like, oh, no plastic bags in grocery checkouts. Like, okay, whoop-dee. How about no plastic containers for the fruit? How about no plastic bags for holding the loose fruit and the other stuff, vegetables? How about no plastic for covering things like the meat then? How about all those kind of things? Oh, hey, no plastic straws, only paper. Oh, okay, now we're undoing that. It's like, okay, how about if you're going to say no plastic stuff, number one, you should already have replacements there ready to go. Like when they roll out these stupid new rules, they never have the things already there ready. Like they're not like, okay, get rid of plastic utensils. We're now making
wood.
wood ones. Here they all are. Or, hey, we're making them out of paper now. Here they all are. So that people can easily just change them out. They're always like, we're getting rid of all this. What's replacing it? Oh, we haven't figured that part out yet. We're just going to keep on trialing things. Like, okay, how about we have it ready first and then go, let's get rid of this bad stuff.
I know a lot of people hate to admit it, more so Americans than Canadians, but North America in a general just absolutely it's such a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. The fact that Europe and Asia are so more advanced when it comes to fighting trash pollution. I'm not talking air pollution, I'm talking trash pollution. There's is it Sophia that lives over in Europe?
Yes.
She may be able to confirm this, so Sophia, please confirm. There are stores that are kind of like the bulk barn.
Oh.
But you gotta have jarred containers, so like mason jars, and you go in
brilliant.
And you fill your mason jar with milk. You fill your mason jar with sugar. You fill your mason jar with cereal. Nothing comes in a disposable container.
Oh. If that's true, Sonia, you have to answer.
Sonia, I called her Sophia, didn't I? I'm sorry, I'm so bad with names. Don't take it.
No, that's her to say. That's I think if I remember right, she explained it that Sophia is what the name Sonia translates to. Like that's the English version of it, I guess. Okay. So that's what she has. You'll see her on our Instagram as Sophia York, not Sonia.
Yes.
Sonia's what I've always known her as. And then she's like, yeah, it's actually Sophia for all this. I'm like, oh, that's just weird. But yes, so she'll still know it's her.
My mind. Yeah. And honestly, I saw it on. Do you remember Anthony Bourdain, the chef?
Yes.
It was when he was traveling the world.
Mm-hmm.
He went into one of those stores, and that's where I saw it.
That's such a good idea and such a good way to do it, because talk about cutting down on the amount of waste you'd have. Like there'd be zero plastics.
Because when your mason jar is empty, you wash the fucking thing and you use it again.
Mm-hmm. I'd do that in a heartbeat.
So sorry, Tupperware, you're going out of business. You know.
Tupperware, the plastic that now sucks. Fun side note that I just learned. I can't remember if I sent you the video or not. But did you see the plates that used to be out when I think it was late 70s, early 90s? Where it was that red acrylic plate, and it was like nigh indestructible kind of thing. And I can't remember if it was actually made by Tupperware or not. But they had like a few different platewares. One was like a green color, and they did like a radioactive test on it. It was like, oh, it's fine. Then they grabbed the red ones, and the radioactivity went off the fucking charts for it. And they're like, oh, and that's because I can't remember, it's like uranium or plutonium. One of their
all
whatever
the
number
stuff.
I want to say it was like uranium 25 or something like that to get that particular color. So they would mash it up into paint pigment, put it on there, and then glaze it. And they're like, well, so long as you didn't chip it, you'd be fine. I'm like, what?
Have you met my family?
It's like, that would chip. The first day you'd kind of go, oh man, I cut into the plate.
I remember my first knee surgery when I was not mobile. I was only home from the hospital for like 3 or 4 days. And my son's in the kitchen unloading the dishwasher. I hear, I'm like, what was that? He's like, that was a bowl. I'm like, like literally 4 minutes later, I'm like, for the love of fuck, Brendan, what are you doing out there? It was a mug, like a bowl, a mug, and a small saucer plate, one dishwasher load. You know how glass shatters when it hits time?
Mm-hmm. I do indeed.
I'm like, I cannot get up to help you clean. Make sure you sweep well.
I was going to say, get out the vacuum. You suck it up because
Oh,
you know what? There was still, we broke something the one day. Can't remember what the hell it was, but something fell and shattered. And it didn't look like it was too bad because I think it was like a jar of something. We cleaned it all up. We vacuumed the floor to make sure we got all the little shards that you can't see because those fuckers hide. And then, like 2 weeks later, I bent over to pick up something that had fallen to the floor. And all of a sudden, something flickered and caught my eye. I kind of moved back a little bit till the sun hit it again. I'm like, son of a bitch. I go and I pick up, and there's this big ass piece of glass still underneath. I'm like, where the fuck were you hiding? Like, how did we not see you? Because you weren't small. I showed it to my mom. She was like, God damn, we missed that? I'm like, yeah, we blind. We blind as fuck.
oh yeah, oh yeah. I've stepped on glass in my kitchen because I'm a barefooter.
Mm-hmm. Same.
If I could like go into restaurants, grocery shopping, whatever, barefooted, I would. I fucking hate shoes.
Oh my God, yeah. Like, anytime that I'm not at work, I'm barefoot. Or if I suppose I have to go in public, then obviously I have them too. But outside of that, I'm like barefoot anywhere. I'm like, yeah, bitches. I even drive where I slide off my shoes and like,
I don't even wear socks. Like I am barefooted.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't, I don't like it. They need to breathe. They need to be able to. Woo!
It's a sign.
It says I die. It's just like you suck. I don't want to go to. You know what? My biggest fear is of the future. It's gonna sound so stupid. This this can be this can be the final thought of the conspiracy. AI. It's going to take over the world,
It's
and
already
it's going.
started.
Exactly. Like, we have played. Uh, so I don't know, because you're not a PlayStation person. You probably wouldn't have played the game, but you probably heard of it. Detroit Become Human.
No.
Oh, you need to look into it. Is again also fucking superb game. Super well done storyline, and it's all 100% choice driven. Severely different endings and story plots depending on what you pick at certain times in the game and for other people. But it's about the robot revolution and how they just want freedom and rights like humans. I'm like, that's why we can't have nice things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look. They've developed the deep fake. You've seen the videos on TikTok and
Yes.
on Facebook of people that have the full head mask
Mm-hmm.
that look like other people.
Mm-hmm. And it looks 100% legitimate. I mean, you think about it. Look at TV shows. So I've been on a Star Wars kick this past week. I got an ear infection last Monday. And when I get ear infections, I'm cranky and grumpy. So I think I spoke 100 words that day. I called in sick and got back in my jammies and just turned on Ahsoka. So you'll know from watching the show that Hayden Christensen comes back into it,
Mm-hmm.
and it reprises his role as Anakin Skywalker. Now, in order to do that, they had to use their brand new, well, it's not so brand new anymore, but their new de-aging technology. They put dots all over your face, and then depending, they can do one of two things. One, they can just de-age you. and you just look like yourself, but like in Hayden Christensen's thing, like he's got the deep crevices on his forehead just from laughing and living life. So they get rid of that completely, make it nice and smooth, like smooth out the face, all those kind of things. Or they've also done in the early stages, they did Rogue One. At the very end of the movie, Princess Leia shows up. Now, Carrie Fisher was already dead by that point in time. And they had literally taken her face and put it onto someone else's just by using, again, dots on the face. And while it wasn't perfect, you could tell the difference. It was still that initial, holy shit.
Well, yeah. And not even the dots on the face too. Let's green screen shit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back 20 years to Lord of the Rings when Andy Serkis did Gollum.
Yes.
They put sensors on his body and he acted out what Gollum was doing as per the storyline. You watch any of the four movies, six movies.
He's in.
Well, he's in 4
Yeah,
because
so he's in
he
4.
is in the first. He's in The Hobbit Part 1, Unexpected Journey.
Yep, and then you have what's his face there, Benedict Cumberbatch. Cumberbatch. However he properly says his name.
Barney Cucumber. It's easier.
Yep. Him, like when he does the role of Smaug, and the way that he literally, again, all the sensors across his body, so he was doing the movements of the dragon while doing the voice and having, again, the dots on the face, the bulbs, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
Where it's when you truly look at what's being done with technology and in an extremely short amount of time, because when I was a kid, I mean, Star Wars was high tech back in 1977 when it came out first. And the reason George Lucas did the order of the movies as 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3 was because he knew he didn't have the technology that he needed in order to make the clone army appear on screen. So that's why he waited basically the 2 decades and then some before he released the next movies. And that's because it's all technology that he and his company created for all this stuff. Or it's like, even you look at the things, it's actually brand new technology for, obviously you watch The Mandalorian because of your man being in it.
My second ex-husband, soon to be ex-husband.
Exactly. The technology behind the screens, they're not green screens. They're legitimately, I think when he first invented the technology, it was literally, he was like, yeah, it was like 100 or something, or 50 of the big screen flat TVs that they were able to, he was like, yeah, I figured out how to kind of hook them all up together and then project the same image. So everyone was literally in the scene. So I was like, okay, so you got technology like that going on. And at some point in time, excuse me, my thought is that at some point in time, technology is going to go too far. We're going to make robots and things like that who want to have freedom of choice, want to have all their own life. And I can't really say as I'd argue with them because I too would want that freedom.
Yeah.
So, and then you see something like the Terminator movies, which do not stand the test of time. Whew, boy, do they not. But when you see something like that, where you're like, yeah, you could see how a future like that, maybe not that exact one, but something similar like that could come along, because we be fucking up the planet, and the machines could come along and be like, okay, look, all you had to do was stop doing this, 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 and this, and it would have made all the difference. So, they probably get it in their mind. They're going, look, you said I had to protect the planet. That means doing something with you. We're either going to enslave the entire human race or just wipe you guys all out. And that's my fear for the future. I would love
Oh,
it to be Mass Effect or Star Wars, but I'm like, nah,
it's gonna
reality is
be
probably
AI
going to.
dominance.
Yep, I was going to say it's probably going to be computers coming up going, like in Futurama, when mom takes over the world with her robot army. It's
Mom.
exactly what it's going to be.
Ugh, love mom.
Oh, oh, Mom Corp.
So yeah, if you've followed us all the way through, dear watchers slash listeners, let us know your thoughts on time travel. Where would you go?
Hmm.
What would you do? Why would you do it?
What do you think of the future? What do you think the future will hold?
Exactly. And we thank you for joining us this week. Don't know what's going on next week. I think we have a guest lined up. I don't know. No, I don't think we do because we're taking the week off.
Is it one of the weeks off?
What do we have going on Sunday?
Well, I know that we have that going on, but I thought that we had a guest speaker before that. You know what? We'll figure it out. You guys will know when we know. We'll let you know on Wednesday when we do our mini episode for the recap of this week's episode of House of the Dragon. I think my heart might be ready for a new episode. I can't rewatch last week's episode yet. I'm not there.
Your heart's ready, but they're going to bring it up again tonight.
It's gonna happen.
So yeah. So thank you for joining us. We'll be back on Wednesday, and have a wonderful week, everyone.
See you guys later.